why you want to watch that video compared to the hundreds of other videos you see on your homepage. Hey y'all, welcome to Tempest TV. If you don't know me, I'm an American currently living in Southeast Asia. I moved here about 6 months ago to start my career as a full-time content creator. And I think I have some really good insights if you're possibly thinking about starting a YouTube channel, maybe getting into Instagram Reels, Shorts, anything like that. There are quite a few things that I had to learn the hard way along the road, but I think I have some shortcuts that might be able to help you out and some reality checks to really get you thinking about if this is something that you want to pursue full time. Maybe it's a hobby that you want to start and see how it goes. But if you are thinking about getting into it full time, there are a few things that I think you need to know so you can manage expectations and be in reality. A little bit of my backstory: I've been making YouTube videos for about 10 years, but never on a serious level. 6 months ago, I decided to sell everything, move overseas, and pursue becoming a full-time filmmaker. So right now, about 90% of my content creation is on YouTube, so that's what most of this video is going to be about. I started a channel from zero, and I was monetized within 6 months. That might be a little bit slower than some channels you've seen, but I feel like this is a pretty good average for most people when it comes to creating new content, especially if you're learning pretty much everything brand new. So I've been making videos for about 10 years, but I haven't really been doing lots of editing. So I didn't really know about the editing process. I didn't really know any programs, anything like that. So coming here 6 months ago, I was pretty much brand new, especially to the YouTube realm. And I've definitely learned a lot. I learned a lot of good things, and I've learned a lot of bad things along the way. So one of the things I think you really need to think about first, if you are planning on starting especially a YouTube channel full time, is to manage expectation. So I was monetized in about 6 months. Like I said earlier, I think that's about average for a lot of channels, especially if you're new to the market. It's not just making good videos. It's not just having cool edits. It's not just having great content. There are a lot of things that come into having a successful channel, and I am by no means on my way to like superstardom or anything like that. But I have learned quite a few things along the way, and I think if you take a few of these tips and roll them into your channel right from the start, you're gonna get off to a much faster start than I did. One of the hardest things that I've seen when it comes to creating content is exactly that. I try to upload every single day. I've seen, especially on my journey through YouTube, that content is king. The more stuff you make, especially when you're learning, is gonna give you a much better idea of what works and what doesn't. YouTube analytics are really great at showing you how people are interacting with your thumbnails, titles, how long they're watching your videos, what people are actually clicking on, when they're clicking off your videos. So if you really get into your analytics, you can really see what's working. But if you're only posting one video, maybe 2 videos a week, I think there's gonna be a lot of dead time in there where you're not necessarily gonna be learning from your mistakes in previous videos. I started uploading very frequently so I could look back on these things and really get an idea of what was working and what's not. Even 6 months later, I'm constantly trying new things in my videos to see what people are engaging with, what they're not, what people are clicking on, trends that are currently, attainable. So I really think the more content you push out when you start, the more you practice at everything, the more you practice your edits. Try to add something new every time you do a new edit. All that stuff is really gonna help you get a foot up, as opposed to if you start slow and then realize you need to pick up the pace. I say start as fast as you can, try to manage it. You don't wanna burn yourself out. Just try something new every single time you post something, and that will really give you an idea of what's working and what's not. So for the first couple months, I was kind of on that slower start. It took me a lot longer to edit. It was harder for me to come up with ideas for videos, so my videos were fewer and far between. I was still trying to try new things between each video, but until you have them really back to back to back to back to back to back, even if it's 4 or 5 a week, I think that's kind of like the golden middle ground. Posting a video every day can get pretty hard sometimes, especially if you're not managing your edits and your film time. But having a steady clip that you're putting out every single week, and then after a month or 2, you can really start to look back at stuff once those videos actually start to get some traction, and then you can really see how things are going. Sometimes videos will start off really slow, and then a month after that they'll pick up. So the more content you have spread out, the easier it is for you to go back and check what's working and what's not. Another thing that I think is super important is try to do your best to not compare yourself to channels that you see that are already successful. A lot of channels that you see that are already doing very well, they might just show up to you and it seems like they just kind of came out of nowhere and they kind of already have everything figured out. Their thumbnails are great, their edits are amazing. but you have to hold yourself to the certain accountability that you have for the level of experience that you have. A lot of these channels that do kind of seem to pop up out of nowhere and are doing really well and seem like they, you know, have everything figured out from the beginning, a lot of these people have had multiple channels before. They've had channels, they've tried things that didn't work. So this one channel that blew up now might be their 5th or 6th attempt at starting a channel. So that's why they seem to have a lot more knowledge. All you can really do is do all the research that you can, but until you start creating things, you're not really gonna understand how to implement them. It's easy to watch a video on how to do edits or how to frame or anything like that, but you're not really gonna start learning those things until you start doing it. Kind of going hand in hand with those analytics is really being able to find what's working and what's not. There's a lot of times, myself included, where you might put out a video and you're like, wow, man, this is my best one. This is gonna work really well. People are gonna engage with this the way that I think I would engage with it. But you have to realize that YouTube and everything that is about the masses. It's not necessarily just about you. There's gonna be a certain way that you engage with content, but that might not be the same as your demographic or other people that you're trying to reach out to. And then once you do find something that seems to be working, don't be afraid to lean into that. I've seen quite a few people start a channel, they have some videos come out that do really well, but they say, oh, you know, I don't really wanna just do videos about that. I don't just wanna do this specific type of video. I wanna do this and this and this and this and this and this. And I've seen a lot of people kind of fall short because of that exactly. If you're spreading yourself out too thin, even if you are kind of staying in the same realm of content, you're really not gonna hone in any specific type of video. But especially when you're a new channel, you really need to try to lean into the things that people are clicking on. Once you do build some growth and you have a bit of a following, you'll be able to branch out a little bit more and create other types of content. But when you're first starting out, you're really trying to base most of your content off search-based results, keywords, thumbnails, trends, things like that. If you don't have a following already, it's gonna be hard for people to find your new channel unless they're finding you in search results. And the best way to really be found in search results is just try to find what niche you're in and then do some really good keyword searches. There are quite a few tools out there that you can add as extensions on your YouTube channel that will help you out with that. TubeBuddy is one that I personally recommend. I have a referral link in my description if that's something you'd like to check out. But they have something called keyword optimization where you can find a video or think of a video that you want to make, and then you can find a way for those keywords to really show up in YouTube searches. If you don't know how keyword searching works in YouTube, do some research on that. Go check that out. Check out keyword optimization. There's tons of good articles and blogs on it, but there's a certain way you need to format your descriptions and your titles and stuff for those keywords to show up in people's searches. And that is going to be the best way to bring new faces to your channel. And then once you have those eyeballs on your channel, it's all about keeping them there. The idea is not necessarily just to have somebody click on that video and watch that whole video and then go off to something else. The idea is to get people to your channel, watch that video, and then go continue to watch other videos, which is another reason why I believe pushing a decent amount of content as fast as you can is a good idea, because when you do get new eyeballs to the channel, if they enjoyed that video, there's a very good chance that they're gonna enjoy your other videos as well. So I don't know how many times I've shut up to a page and they got a really good video, and then I go to check out their profile and they've only got 5 or 6 other videos. I'm not necessarily gonna not watch those videos, but I'm more inclined to stay on a channel that has a ton of videos, playlists, and things that I can continue to watch, because it just gives me more of an opportunity to see that creator. Now, once you do all these things, it seems very simple. Once you do your keyword optimization, all that stuff, you've got a good idea for a video, you know how you're gonna phrase it so it shows up in searches. The 2 biggest things that I think you need to pay attention to when you're first starting out, and it's something that I didn't, and I noticed a major difference when I actually changed this and invested some time into it, is your thumbnail and your title. So I know a lot of the times when I first started out, I would have an idea, maybe write a script, something like that, go shoot the video, edit, do all of that, and then my title and my thumbnail would be the last things that I created. And then you can kind of tell at that point creatively, you might be kind of burnt out. You just put all this time into your edit because you're just learning how to use the program, so that your edits are gonna take a little bit longer. And then you kind of just throw up a thumbnail, throw up a title, and you're like, all right, good, that'll work. I made a dope video, people are gonna watch it. But it doesn't matter how good your video is. Listen to this. I wish I could have had somebody pound this into my head when I first started. It does not matter how good your video is if nobody clicks on it. If nobody clicks on it, it could be the best edit, it could blow Mr. Beast and all those guys out of the water when it comes to the edit, but if nobody clicks on it, it does not matter. So when you first start, invest some real time in learning Photoshop and spend some time just going around YouTube. I love to just go on my homepage and scroll and scroll and scroll until I see a video that, boom, I wanna watch that. And then really pick it apart why you want to watch that video compared to the hundreds of other videos you see on your homepage. Do they throw text in it? Do they have a person in it? How do they frame their title? And then just take notes. I have a notebook that is just full of ideas, sketches of thumbnails, all these things. And then you have something to reference on those days when you might be stuck and you got a little bit of a creator's block, and really try to pick apart every single video that you watch. Look how they open the video. Look what their hook is in the first 10 seconds of the video. Look how they edit. Look how they flow through the video to keep people watching the entire time. Everything you watch on YouTube already, pick it apart and try to learn something from it. So I know I'm kind of glazing over a lot of things, but this is gonna be a series that I'm gonna continue to do moving forward, and I'm gonna kind of pick apart individual things a little bit more. I'm gonna have videos on how I create my thumbnails, what programs I use, what I use to source my images, how I do my edits. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to drop a like on this video. Go ahead and subscribe. If you're starting a new channel, I'm just gonna feed you all the information I have so you maybe can get a little bit of a foot up instead of just starting raw from scratch like I did. So I think the biggest thing, once you have all this stuff kind of figured out and you have an idea of how you're gonna make your thumbnails, how you're gonna brand your channel, what your hooks are gonna be and all this stuff, and you've kind of started to get some traction on how you're gonna create content, the biggest thing you need to remember is this is not gonna happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight for anybody. It's just not how it goes. A lot of people that seem to pop up overnight, they have a lot of previous experience, whether it's from filmmaking or other social media platforms. If you are brand new to content creation, this is not something that you're gonna build and you're gonna have 100,000 subscribers in a month. Does that happen? Yes, but the rarity of that is completely insane. It's just not a thing that happens. So just remember, you gotta put in the work to reap the benefits. Now with all this, what is the biggest piece of advice I can give you? Stick with it. Don't give up. Rome wasn't built in a day and it wasn't built in a year. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. I hope you had a great day.